Okay, I just want to show you what I'm working with. I'm going to try to attempt to make Cooper Howard's shirt here and more of an inspired look because my husband decided he wanted to go as Cooper Howard at HHN next week. So I have, and today's Wednesday, October 22nd. All right, so this is great. This is what I'm working with, and so you already had I think it's like a Ralph Lauren shirt, and the material here, the tassels, the material, I'm going to attempt to try to sew that, which I'm not super expert, but whatever. Here, as far as the bandana or handkerchief, they had some at Hobby Lobby and all this stuff I got at Hobby Lobby mostly, except for like the sheriff badge and things like that. I got it Spirit Halloween. But for the material and all that, Hobby Lobby, they did have like 2 handkerchiefs that were yellow, but I didn't really care for them. So I'm just getting this and going to attempt to dye it and hope for the best. The trimming or like edging here, I'm using like this edging along, I don't know what you call that, but whatever that is, I'm going to attempt to try to use this. And then I picked up some gold ribbon and I'm going to try to edge the like button where it buttons up there. And then for the gold edging, you probably know what I'm talking about here. It's just basically that in between where the gold material and the tassels, that seam. I don't know if that's what you call it, but that's what I'm calling it. Wish me the best. And okie dokie, let's get to it. All right. Yep. All right, I'll check back in with you guys and show you how it's going. Okay, so to get my pattern pieces, I just used like masking tape onto a shirt, like an old shirt that he was going to throw away anyways. So if this was the shirt that we were using, I had my husband put the shirt on and then say, I think, let's see, this is what I used for the front pieces maybe. I think, yeah, that goes, let me see. Quickly, I think these were the front pieces. Okay, so I would take the masking tape and just tape off where I thought these, like, here, where these gold pieces would hit on him. And then just like the back, him having the shirt on, not the actual shirt that he's wearing, but the shirt going to be cut up, had him put it on. And for the back, did the same thing where you can see, so I think this is kind of the hardest part, like getting that kind of pattern. I'm sure if you have pattern paper, but taped this and then just cut that out. So really this shirt on him, if he was wearing the blue shirt, it would sit just a little lower, but putting the tape there and then cutting out that blue part. Now the blue part, I took the gold material and sewed it onto the actual like pieces. These I ended up not doing that. It just worked out where I just cut them off of basically laid them onto the gold piece. Let's see. And again, I'm not an expert if there's an easier way for this, but this is the way I did it. I just laid these on, traced them, and then cut the gold piece out, and then sewed it onto the shirt that he's wearing. But that's how I got my pattern pieces. If you have pattern paper, I'm sure you could do it that way, but this is if you don't have any of that. I mean, I don't have a lot of this stuff, so that's just what I did. Okay, also you may have noticed, I want to mention this very quickly. If your pieces are uneven, which mine, the gold pieces, they ended up being uneven. So if you look here very closely, okay, so this golden piece sits lower than the fringe versus this piece over here. Now, I know that, you know that now, but if that happens to you, really, you can just, what I did here, like with the fringe, what you can do, so don't fret if it's like, oh, I just can't get it even and getting frustrated. It's okay. Just take the fringe and like what I did here, you just cheat it up. And even if there was material like under here, it's still going to camouflage it. And then you would just cheat this one, the fringe, you would just cheat this down. And then that makes it more even. I mean, this fringe, even for the back, there's places where it's a bit wonky, but the fringe, I think it sort of gives you a bit to play with, where it kind of camouflages these just like little flaws. So, and I mean, and if I really, really wanted to, I mean, I guess I could, but seriously, it's just a little off. And that gold under there, I mean, it doesn't take away from the outfit itself. So just keep that in mind. Don't get frustrated. You can easily camouflage things once you add the fringe to your Cooper Howard costume. So this is how it's going so far. And there was a gap here. The shirt, even though it was the same size, it was smaller. So I had a gap and I'm filling this part in. Here's the back of it. And yeah, but not too bad. Okay, so here's how this project is going as far as the Cooper Howard Fallout inspired look. Not too bad. I did this last night for a few hours. Not an expert on sewing, and I actually impressed myself on trying. Yeah, I had a few like hiccups as far as the back piece and the front piece. The original like shirt that I was trying to get the pattern off of was smaller, even though they were the same sizes. So I had like this gap. So I had to sew some extra material there. And what I'm going to do today is try to just clean up around the edges. Like here is like popping off. So I'm just going to really just sew a ribbon on there, and then trying to take some ribbon also and edge like how he has it in the show, and figure that out. And with this, I just dropped it. Well, with this, I'm going to try to edge it around, maybe the collar, figure out something there. But yeah, so far, not too bad. Okay, for that section that was like popping up, I had to do the ribbon and then did this type of stitching. And then to cover that, I'm just putting another ribbon because it doesn't look too bad when it's just one stitch like that, like a straight stitch. Again, I'm not sure what the technical terms are, but I'm just going to now just cover that up. But yeah, I wanted to show that before I do. Okay, just want to show how I'm attaching this front piece. I am just doing I guess a single stitch or a straight stitch and going super slow. Let me see if I can back up and focus, and just making sure it is hitting right in the middle of the string, and that's it. Okay, so the edging around the collar, I'm just using this and slowly, this is what I'm doing, like basically like one at a time, super slow, but I think it'll be good for a costume. Okay, you know how I love permanent markers. So I'm cleaning up this edge here, like the stitching that I did, and also inside of the garment. So I am literally taking the permanent marker, and I'm not like actually like coloring with it. I'm literally just giving, hold on, I'm trying to hold the camera in this, just tapping it, like tapping each string, and there's enough ink where it just disappears. So that's literally what I'm doing. So I'm not coloring it or anything. I'm just giving it a little tap tap. Just give it a little tap. And that looks amazing because that's what it looks like, you know, obviously without. So here, like here, let me just see, try to do a little. Okay, I'm too too out of focus, but yeah, just wanted to show how I'm basically eliminating that stitching. But yeah, it's coming along. All right, this is how I'm doing the cuffs or the sleeve or the, I don't know what these are called, but the shirt where I'm using as my pattern. I'm literally just cutting this part here and then putting it on the gold fabric and then cutting around it, sewing it onto the light blue cuff, and then taking that and sewing it onto the shirt itself. And that's it. That's all I'm doing. So let's get to it. Okay, so I'm showing how I'm doing the cuff. Now, what I learned from doing the first one is that the more material, the better, just because some of this was popping out because it didn't quite cover, like have that extra material to work with, so it kind of popped out when I sewed it. So the trick with this is just to have that extra material, and I'm literally just sewing right on top and tucking that extra material inside and then just feeding it through. And I tell you what, the cuffs have been actually the most challenging in this process. So yeah, that extra material, I don't have to be so close to that edge. And just sewing it right onto the light blue shirt cuff. Now there might be a better way, a more professional way. This is just what I'm doing. And then there's like this curve here, so I'm gonna try to tuck in the material so to curve around. Get close. Try to circle that around. Now, one thing I did learn from a sewing class, like I don't even know, back in high school or something. If you put the needle down, it keeps your material in place. So then I can just pick this up, and so your material doesn't slide around. Tuck that under, and then put the foot back down, and then just guide it in that curve. I'm gonna do it again. So put the needle down, lift that foot up, put this extra material underneath, and just curve it around. Okay. See how I didn't put the needle down, it kind of moved. All right, let's finish this out. Yay! Okay, so let me show you. So that is how I made the first cuff, just like that. And now I'm going to sew it onto the shirt itself. So I'll show you how I did that. Okay, so this is how I'm doing the cuff. You just want to make sure the cuff is on the right side. So it's going to be bent up when worn. So that means this gold part needs to go on really the inside of the sleeve. So then it folds up like that. And just want to make sure there's no other material underneath there. There we go. Let's see what we have. I'll clean up that. Oh, it broke a button. I'll just have to re-sew a new button on there. That's nice. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, so be aware of that. the buttons. All right, so there is how I did the sleeve collars. There's that. Okay, so I wanted to film this and show just where I'm at. I was adding, well, I added one of the sleeves, but I'm going to have my husband try it on before I do the other sleeve. I mean, it just depends on how he'll wear this. If not, it's pretty much completed. I am adding some Velcro in this section right here because I just don't want that to pop up and expose some of this ribbon, which the ribbon I had to use because the material, the gold material, there was like a gap there. And today I just like hand sewed. I did have a ribbon here and then going along here, but I ended up cutting it, and that was a lot of fun. And then trying to like take it off. It just looks much better like this. And then I just hand sewed, like took the ribbon and basically like folded it over here so that wasn't sticking out as much. But in 2 days, I mean, yeah, it's not too bad. And so it is possible to make a Cooper Howard sort of cowboy inspired shirt in 2 days, a couple of hours. Yeah, not too bad. Just day 3 and the final touches. So I did end up adding some Velcro there just to hold that back. And I added, I mean, it is what it is because I didn't finish it completely to the edge. So I just finished it like that. And then added Velcro sewed on there to keep that fastened because we're just gonna keep it untucked. Now the cuffs or the sleeves, this one, the button wouldn't button, so I just used a safety pin, and so that's how we're securing it. So for this one, I'll have you hold the camera, hold it right here. Okay. So for this is what I did on the other sleeve. Now this one is held by the button, but just to hold it more secure, we're just going to take a safety pin and let's see if I can do this. Okay, yeah, making sure you can see in the camera. Taking a safety pin for both sides. Let's see, how did I do? Oh, told you wrong. Okay, hold it right here. I'm going to safety pin it on the outside. So just like this. Okay, those two sides. So get through the material like that. And then just roll it up. And I can take the camera for you. And there's that awesome, easy peasy. And you can cheat it, hide it a little bit. But yeah, there we go. I think that is a wrap. Excellent. If you want to hang out more, check out some of my other videos and reviews on theme parks, experiences, and some of the other costumes that I've put together. I'm slowly putting all of this together, so bear with me. But when my husband and I, when we go to these experiences or theme parks, we like to dress and immerse ourselves in the events or in the experiences. And I will always give my brutally honest opinion, even if it's not well received. But I want to make sure that you have all the facts and information when you're planning these events or things to enhance your experiences, or even if they're worth going to. But thanks for spending part of your day with me. And yeah, check out my other videos if you want to keep hanging out. I'll catch you next time. Bye.